Well, today I have with me a very special guest that has his own real lived experiences with not just financial reset, but really with new beginnings overall. Rashawn Oliver has had to live out many of the same lessons that we've talked about all throughout this lesson. And he is not only surviving, but he is thriving. And so I asked him to come today just to share a little bit about his journey, which is very much still in the making. So welcome, and thank you for coming and sharing some of your story with us today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So I know you very well, but for our viewers today, if you could tell just a little bit about your journey leading up to becoming incarcerated, and really just kind of explain to them what that whole experience has done in terms of shaping you and helping to reposition you for the path that you're on now.
All right. Well, my name is Rashawn Oliver, 29 years old, father of one. My journey, my experience really just started from just a series of destructive choices, just making a series of bad choices, inconsiderate, selfish decisions. And it led me to my brief incarceration, where the journey inside was more so of a mental battle more than anything. Anyone could take, physical punishment, physical abuse, but it's the mental agony, the mental pain of you not knowing what's going on, you not being able to reach out to the people who you may be close to, moving on with their lives, long distance relationships, disconnections. All those things weigh on you. So you have those on top of idle time. Just idle time is the devil's playground. With that being said, you just have a lot of evil thoughts, devilish thoughts that just run through your mind that can tear you down or just destroy you mentally. So those are your main issues, like I said, anywhere from my system, starting from being intake in the county, it's freezing cold in there, so that's dealing with you. You go down to the workhouse, it's a issue, fighting over trades, fighting over whatever you may be fighting over there. Just people with certain living conditions. Then you get sent up the road, you go intake with CRC, it's a long drawn out process. It's boring, not to mention all that. Then you finally, wherever your home prison may be, or you be Lebanon, Lancaster, Belmont, wherever they may send you, Lake Erie. That's where your home is, pretty much, while you're serving your bid, whatever how long your time is.
Wow. And I know a lot of people that may not be physically incarcerated, just being in the present corona environment can relate to, feeling isolated and feeling totally disconnected from the people, as you said, that you're close to, kind of feeling, distant, and sort of in like its own prison, of its own making. And so, when you think about mentally what, you went through, like you said, it was mostly a mental battle. How did you get to a point of really starting to prepare yourself for what you knew was going to be facing you on the outside? So you knew that you were going to have certain barriers that were going to face you just based upon the fact that you had a record, you've got a little girl that you've got to provide for. So you knew that the day was coming where you were going to have to self-sustain and provide for her. So what were you able to do mentally? How were you able to sort of shift or flip that switch so that you could begin to use the time productively to position yourself in the strongest way when you got out?
Simply just by having a plan, having really a purpose, first off. Yeah. With most people who live our life vicariously, they don't have a purpose or a reason for the living. Me, I have a daughter. Me, I have my own personal life, what I want to do. So, one mistake, one setback, I wouldn't let deter me from a long life that I have left. So being inside while I'm pressing the rack, sitting down, is just establishing a plan, starting to create a process or something, what you want to do or what you're able to do, even from the inside, they have certain programs and certain like financial literacy programs, environmental literacy, job training. They have all sorts of programs inside designed to try to help you adjust once you get reacclimated to the community.
So you took advantage of those.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, you got nothing but time while you're sitting down, so it might as well do something while you're in there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Were you worried about money when you got out, that maybe you wouldn't?
Of course. I definitely feel so. I mean, even before being incarcerated, money was an issue. You know, you got bills and things.
Right. But even more so, right?
And more so when you come home, you got a barrier between you. So with that, I honestly have to say I did have a lot of support in that system. I had, when I came home, I was living with my grandparents, so they gave me a couch, a place to stay until I can get on my feet enough to provide for myself. Good. So if that is for people who don't have that, sometimes you just gotta knuckle down. Maybe you, wherever you may be sitting on, and just get your ducks in a row till you can get back to getting your own. Like, it took me 4 months to get my own place, and then I'm home. Just myself, I'm being home, and I'm able to be stable and consistent, working a job and everything.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Good for you. Mm-hmm. Just talking about looking ahead, at least when you first got out, did you feel like you could trust yourself with money?
Not necessarily. You
know what I'm saying? You know, like,
you come home, you finally free, you know? So
right. It's my like, I'm about to eat 20 hot dogs and right.
So, you know, you definitely going to frivolously spend your money. So, in that sense, I always had a mentor. Like, I got an uncle. I got a mother who's very strict with funds. And then on top of it, you know, I got bills. I got rearages of child support, everything. So when you come home, you're going to have all these things smack you in the face.
Right.
So that little celebration, it'll last
reality,
maybe a day or
exactly.
two. And then reality's coming to smack you in the face where you got to get your things together. So that celebration was short-lived.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real. And that's kind of what I wanted to ask next is kind of, you know, what controls, and when I say controls, just self-boundaries did you feel like you put in place, or maybe it was the people that you talked about that were your support that kind of helped you, you know, it sounds like you had people in your life that you could hold yourself accountable to. One of the things that we talk about in the lesson is the importance of finding an accountability partner.
Definitely.
And sometimes, you know, that process is not necessarily instantaneous, because the people that were in your previous circle, you know, none of them, you know, are really worthy. They all have disqualified themselves in one, you know, way or another. So, you know, we're not talking about, you know, well, my girlfriend that sleeps next to me every day, that's going to be my accountability partner, because many times that same person, you know, help you spend your money, right?
Sure.
So, you know, taking the time to actually pick somebody that you know is going to hold your feet to the fire, that you know understands a little bit of what you're going through, understands who you are. Maybe it's someone who, you know, understands what it means to be in recovery, what it means to, you know, be, you know, in this reentry lane, what all comes with that, and the temptations that also come with it. You know, picking that person really is an important factor. But it sounds like you may have had some of those people right, you know, at your beck and call, right in your own family. But how did you,
along the way, I mean, like I said, mother stood through, even my grandmother, even during the bidding process, my grandma made a visit every week along the way, just on the support side. So that's just I think we as people, we live just to influence others or to be involved in others' lives, you know?
That's good.
No one wants to be isolated all their lives. So you have to have someone who holds you accountable and someone who you hold accountable. It's a balancing system in a sense.
So you feel like people like your grandmother, you know, they proved to you, even while you were in, that they were going to be that ride or die.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely, yeah. more than any female, yeah. Definitely my grandma, my mom.
So one of the topics, or points that we've kind of talked through in the lesson is the fact that sometimes when you are going through a period of time where you haven't reoffended, or you haven't kind of backslidden, you know, where you've been doing pretty well, you know, you can sort of become overconfident and think, you know, I got this, you know, I got this now. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's that type of thinking that can cause something like an economic stimulus check, where somebody just drops 3 racks in your account to really trigger you from the blind. How do you feel like someone who has walked the same path can keep themselves grounded, meaning that they can acknowledge the steps that they've been able to take, toward their goals, but they also have this inner knowing that going down the wrong path is just like the next thought, and really understanding that, that they have to be aware.
I think it's just a matter of just complacency and being stagnant. I feel so. You come home, me myself doing the wrong thing, even though my main goal was to get rich, make a lot of money. So if I can put as much effort and thought into doing the wrong thing to get some money, I know I can just put just as much into finding a legal way. It's plenty of legal ways to get money. It's plenty of just ways. It's a matter of staying consistent with it, just staying pressing on. I feel like once you get stagnant, complacent, get the lazy mind. That's where the stimulus money or Social Security check or something every month, and you content with that. But it's no growth. There's no growth within there. Me myself, I just want to continue to grow and leave a legacy for my daughter and everyone else.
So it's a mentality. It's like that go-getter mentality that you have to wake up with every day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel you. And that kind of is a great segue into, my last question, which again covers one of the points, the very last point that we talked about, which is the fact that, sometimes the safest way to stay in that zone is to keep your cadence, meaning, keep your routine, keep going to meetings, right? Keep meeting with your sponsor, keep meeting with your support specialist, make sure that you're doing the things that, you were doing before you got this money. Continue to do those things, right? So what are some of the ways that you've been able to kind of keep your cadence, throughout the ups and downs, having a paycheck, not having a paycheck, having money, not having money, and just staying the course?
Like you said, routine, having a plan. When you're inside, I'm sure the majority of people, once you get in your bed mode, you get attached to the joint, to the prison, you get a set schedule for what you're doing almost every day. Your whole bed, you're doing the same thing every morning to night.
So you feel like you should already be.
So you already got a routine. So if you can do it on the inside, you could definitely come home and do it. It's more strict on the inside. So if you do it with your own freedom, your own determination, you'll be all right. So I set a plan. Good. I got a white chalkboard. I write down what my goals and what I want to do, my aspirations. Okay. I write down a list of things I need to do as far as work related or my child related, fun related, anything. So I just have it written down. You see, if you write everything down, it'll be a surprise that the affirmation as it comes to life.
Write it down, make it plain. Yeah. Sure. No, that's good, Rashawn. That's really good. So I know we talked about the beginning of your journey, but tell us where you are now. So, you talked about the fact that you made applications several places and, had unfortunately doors closed in your face, but there was a company that said yes. Who was that?
Oh yeah. I was able to end up catching the job. I was able to work at the YMCA, work at Van Buren Shelter, just helping out as a intake specialist, just helping clients. And it really is bright my field from where I used to work before my situation. I was working for JFS, and just not exactly social work, but in the sense of resource assistance and coordinating people with linking them with the help that they may need. Mm-hmm. So I just like to be a blessing, to be in service to other people. So it's really just been helping me out.
Well, like I said before, I know your story is still in the making. I feel like the sky is not the limit for you.
Thank you.
And I'm really, really grateful for the fact that you shared your story. It may seem like a small thing to you, but there's a lot of people trying to figure out what their next steps are going to look like. And there's a lot of people grappling with temptation, which is what this whole video is about. And so to be able to hear it from the mouth of somebody that's been where they've been, that's walked where they've walked, that's had the same, type of, thoughts that they may have had. It means a lot. I think that, it goes a long way to hear it from someone that, can relate to where you are. So again, I appreciate your time and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.